a lot of the times we go into the dance imagining how does that person want me to be.
For me, embodiment means that you are in connection with your own movements and you feel how your body touches the body of another person.
What is the chemistry that we have in our own body? What is the texture? What is the emotion? What is the feeling that we have in our own body?
Even people that I taught with, that I have been around for many years, I still glitch sometimes when I go to dance with them because there's this deep insecurity that still lives inside of me. And for me, this might be the pinnacle of the social dance experience when you are embodied, you are enjoying your movement, you're enjoying your vibe, and the other person is also embodied, enjoying their movement, enjoying their vibe, and that's magical.
Yeah, you cannot cheat time. If you want to progress faster, you got to spend more time. I think a baseline that every teacher can agree is that a great social dancer is the one that can dance with the most amount of people and execute similar things, instead of the dancer who can dance with a couple of people and do the most amount of things. Are you dancing in your head whilst trying to give your partner the experience you think they want? We're talking about the anxiety of expectation versus the freedom of bringing your own unique vibe to the dance. How do you stop focusing on pleasing your partner and start connecting with yourself? Well, let's find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to ZoukNerds. In this episode, I'm joined by Gui Prada as we dive into mastering your body connection in social dancing. We explore the common struggle of leaders and followers who dance in their heads, focusing on external expectations rather than internal feeling. It's time to understand your own texture, elements, and flavors so you can bring a unique, authentic contribution and connection to every dance. So, let's go! Hello everyone, my name is Alisson Sanji and let's welcome back our beautiful co-host Gui Prada. Hello Gui.
Hello Alisson, hello everybody. It's unfortunately just us again. Paloma has left. But excited for today's conversation. I think it's going to be really good.
In this episode, we're going to be talking kind of an abstract subject about our soft skills in social dancing. How do we master our own body connection so then we can hopefully improve and master our connection with everybody that we dance with? This is a conversation that we've had so many times between the both of us over these many years that we've known each other, and with so many people around the dance community, and most recently with a student of mine here in Taipei. There's this thing that we leaders and followers want to be the best dancer for our partner. And what we find is that a lot of the times, and myself included, I'll put my hands up here, we go into the dance imagining how does that person want me to be, right? Instead of bringing myself, bringing my texture, my feelings into the dance, and hopefully that partner bringing their self, their dance, however they want, and then both of us meet in the middle and create something unique and special. That is the special ideal world that we all want to have. But that's not the reality because expectations, anxiety, stress, and so many things that makes us go into our head, puts us into this situation where we think, oh, I'm going to be dancing with that teacher or with that dancer. And this is how they dance with everybody else. So I need to dance like that. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Gui, enlighten us with your experiences. How has that journey been for you? Because for me, it's still ongoing as a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. Man, this topic has so many layers. I will start talking about my experience with myself in a way, let's put it like that, in this sense of having social dance, having the partner dance, sometimes be really focused on what we need to do for the other person to like dancing with us. So it's more on the output. And I think what we are talking about here is our own input, is how we connect with our own bodies and our own movements and the way we like to move and the way we like to connect, the way we like to dance. Before the recording started, as we are discussing the theme and how to begin the episode and how to end the episode, we were talking about the matter of embodiment, which it can be the result of learning how to dance. And even the idea of embodiment, even the concept of embodiment can be subjective. Many people can have completely different concept, completely different ideas of what this word embodiment means. For me, embodiment means that you are in connection with your own movements. And what does that mean as well? Is you feel your movements, you feel your arms move, you feel your weight transfer, you feel how your body touches the body of another person. So when it comes to this idea of dancing with somebody with the goal or thinking about pleasing that person and what do I need to do to please that person, we ended up being in our heads more than in our bodies. So we ended up dancing, mechanically doing the things, I think just out of muscle memory, because we are not fully present in our own movements, because we are in our heads thinking, is this good enough for the person I'm dancing with? Is the person that I'm dancing with enjoying it, liking it? And that's the thing, man. In my first years here in the US as a teacher, I felt this interesting pressure that I would put on myself, that when somebody came to dance with me, they were coming to dance with me for a very specific experience. So in my head, there was this question, this wondering, am I providing the experience that I think this person came to receive? So many times I would be doing the dance that I thought they wanted me to give to them. So I was matching what I thought was their expectations of what it was to dance with me. And after a little while, I started to lose perception of what is it that I like to do? What is it that I like to dance, and how is it that I like to dance? And allowing myself to move into a phase of my explorations as a mover, as a dancer, as a teacher, of a different vibe, I think people were searching to dance with me because of the connection aspect of it, because of the embrace, because of the stillness, because of the calm. And even sometimes when the song was inviting me to do something else, I didn't, because that's not what this person wants. This person is coming to me for this experience that they think I can give. You know what I mean? So it was a process for me to allow myself and to open up to, you still get the cozy dance. You still get the comfort, and with the playfulness, combined with the jumping, combined with a little bit of crazy. So it was finding this middle ground between, yes, providing that experience while in my body, while enjoying my movements, while enjoying what I was doing. I think at this point we have enough experience and we have enough understanding of the craft that we can more easily find this point in between dance for you and dance for your partner. You can do both at the same time. It's still difficult in certain cases, and we can talk more about this later. But in the end of the day, I did went through a phase in which I was dancing in my head many times, because I was wondering, is this the experience this person came to receive? Am I giving this experience that I think they came to receive? So I don't know if you experienced anything like this, Alison, but for me, in my first years here, it was very present.
Oh boy. So many times, and it's still happening, to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that I have mastered this and that every dance is exactly how I imagine in the perfection world to be. It's not. And that's why we feel that there is a huge value to talk about this. And this is something that I'm just going to make it clear. It happens to everyone in every level, students and professionals. Everyone. But for the sake of making things a little bit easier for you to imagine, we can mention teachers, right? So, for example, when I want to dance with Gui, I imagine that I want to feel like a paloma, right? I want to feel like that movie that I see when Guy and Paloma dance. So I want to become that follower, right? So this is the kind of thing that we're talking about. And once again, we're not talking about just teacher personalities. But for example, you see a follower or a leader on the dance floor. Maybe you've never seen them before. And there's something special about their dance that you're like, oh my God, I want to feel like that. And then you go and dance with the person that was dancing with them or that person that you actually enjoyed. And you want that same experience. But here's the thing. It's just not going to be that way because two different people, two different moments, two different styles of music that could be playing. The DJ is not going to rewind and play the same songs in the social. You know, there are so many factors that change that it's unreasonable to expect. This is something that comes to us all the time in classes, as teachers, and in private lessons. You know, followers or leaders will come to us and say, hey, I want to dance like that. I want to dance like this. And then for me, what do I have to tell them? I said, look, I'm sorry, but you're not going to. It's not how it works. Like they are dancing like that because that's the chemistry that they found between those two in that moment. So the goal of this episode is to go and deep dive into what is the chemistry that we have in our own body. What is the texture? What is the emotion? What is the feeling that we have in our own body? Understand that and understand that it changes and then be comfortable with that. So then every time when we dance with somebody, we can bring that. Okay, so like I bring a certain amount of ingredients. The other person brings a certain amount of ingredients. Both of us go get cooking and then we make this beautiful dish. Instead of thinking that I have to bring a certain amount of ingredients and then my partner thinking that they have to bring a certain amount of ingredients. And then once we get cooking, it doesn't work because the ingredients that we brought, they are just like the opposite or completely like unexpected. So then we keep trying to find a good recipe, but it just doesn't work. And that's the example that my student here was talking to me about. He feels like there are followers that he goes to dance with, and he doesn't feel like he needs to think too much or be responsible for much. It just happens. But then he dances with other followers that he feels like he's very responsible, that they're waiting for something, and that it's almost like they are a mirror. And that's how I described it to him. I said, look, there's some people that are very neutral. They're pretty much a mirror. They bring, let's say, if we talk about colors, a very neutral color, maybe just white, okay? They bring white. That's the color, that's the emotion, and they're willing and ready for anything. Other people, they already bring a certain color or element. Let's say somebody brings water, the other person brings fire. And with that person, I find that it's reasonable to say, oh, it was easier to dance because there was a certain texture or element or flavor already predetermined that as soon as you step in, we're like, okay, we're in water. Let's swim, you know? So the hardest thing here is to dance with somebody who is very comfortable with being neutral or who is comfortable enough to dance with you in that neutral zone because, you know, it's not with everybody that you might feel that way. With certain people, you're like, you know what, I'm going to be earth. I'm going to be quite grounded on this one because I don't know where we're going. But then if you want to dance with somebody and you feel very comfortable, you just kind of like, you wipe off all the expectations and you're like, hey, I'm ready. And that is a very intriguing type of connection to encounter. How does that work with you, Guy? How do you do in your dance and how do you experience with other people?
Yeah, as you were saying, I was remembering for an occasion in which I felt both ideas. Now, when the person comes already with their colors and when somebody comes more neutral. And think I talked about this in the podcast in several different episodes. The experience of dance with my teachers, how I felt like I was so amazing, so musical. And the first time that I went to Buenos Aires and I danced with this more experienced tanguera, they would hold me, and it was instantaneously amazing because in their hold, I could feel comfortable, not only in my body, but also in my being. I was comfortable. It's almost like, there's nothing I need to prove. There's nothing to do. Everything is done already. If I do my thing here, it's fine. Whereas in other cases, I need to do something more. It's not only just my thing alone is not going to be enough. I cannot say with precision what causes one and what causes the other. I can reverse engineer what these experiences that were pleasant in always mind and body and soul. I can reverse engineer what physically was happening, how they were holding me, how they were looking at me, how they were smiling, and perhaps say, these are the elements. These are the elements that when they are brought in the dance cause a level of comfort in my being, that idea of what do I need to do to please this person sort of goes away a little bit, because perhaps at a subconscious level, I think this person is already pleased. She's already enjoying life here with me. And all we need to do is really move our bodies. So we jump from the head to the body. And I really feel the movement, I really feel the music more because one concern went away. In the other cases, it was more like building the relationship. That's an interesting thing that I was thinking about too. I think we talked about in the podcast many times as well, the idea of finding balance in all things, life-related, dance-related. And I truly think that it's perfectly fine that we both arrive more neutral to the dance. There is a dance that perhaps we don't feel yet safe, or, that our true colors are going to be accepted by our partner. The thing we like to do is going to be well received right away. It's almost like starting a conversation. You are not necessarily going to start a conversation already sharing all your secrets, already talking about deep and personal things. You're going to start a conversation talking about the weather and asking how their day was, and these very superficial common questions that we ask everybody. And as you get to know the person, as you feel more comfortable, you share more and you answer more questions and you ask more questions as well. I think in the dance, this happens a lot. Imagine that if we have this concern about whether what we are doing is pleasing the person we are dancing with, it's very likely that that person that we are dancing with has the same thing, if what they are doing is pleasing us. So we both arrive at the same, let's see what's going on. So we both arrive a little bit neutral as the dance evolves, and with the exchange happening, if we start to feel safer to show the colors more. And I think in the end of the day, it might be a matter of personality as well, a matter of confidence, a matter of trust and self-trust. When the tangueras arrived for the dance, already showing their whole being right away. I don't think that that's better than a follower that comes a little bit more neutral, because I know that when the relationship is built over time, I start to see what they really like. They start to show their colors, and that for me is also a beautiful process. And the process of uncovering what is there that the person sometimes don't even know that they have. When I was dancing with my teachers as well, I perhaps was more neutral at first because I didn't know what I had. And because of their level of confidence and because they arrived already with this trust in themselves so present, they brought out stuff that I didn't even know I could do, so they unleashed my potential. So I think all cases are present, all cases are valid, all cases are nice. But like Alisson, to this day, we still think about these things. We still go through these things. Every time I'm going to invite another teacher to dance, boy, oh boy, I go through a whole thing in my head. And even people that I taught with, people that I have been around for many years, I still glitch sometimes when I go to dance with them because there's this deep insecurity that still lives inside of me that is like, oh, am I going to do a dance that is good enough for them? Given that they have danced with all these amazing people. And so like Alisson is saying, it's not just because we did it today that we are not free from these insecurities. Not at all.
Not at all. And one thing that you said at the very end is very much a segue to what I want to talk about. These people have danced with so many other amazing people. So like we already started dancing thinking like, this dance cannot be as good as all of those other ones that they had. You know, it's such a bad place to be, such a sad place to start with. But God, guys, buckle up, because I don't even know where I'm going with this, but there's so many things that I want to try to put in line and make sense right now. So I understand personally, and also from the point of view of people who talk to me about the fact that sometimes it's easier, or for some people, it's always easier if the other person comes with all of the ingredients ready, recipe ready, and tell us exactly how it's going to be. It is a lot easier a lot of the times, because if I go and start dance with somebody and they already have everything right there, the elements, the texture, the vibe, the feeling, I just have to jump into it and ride and enjoy it. It is easier. And this is something that I think as a leader, I sometimes want it from a follower that has something very special that I want to experience. Just as much as followers who want to dance with a certain leader that they know has something that they want to experience, they expect that, right? So there is a place that I think this works. But is it better because it's easier? That's the big question in my head. I don't think that it's better, because it's kind of like you're always ordering food from a restaurant. So yes, you always get what you want. Yes, you get the experience, you get the flavors, you get the texture and everything like that. But when are you ever exploring your own cooking, your own desires, your own flavors? And that's when I think that a lot of people are looking for connection and looking to improve their dance. They end up missing out on that. The fact that they always want to dance with this person or that person, or this vibe or that vibe, kind of limits them, because they're only on the receiving end, not on the sharing or speaking end. But it's much harder to accept that start of a neutral dance, because the start of a neutral dance can be kind of stressful for some, or can be like deafening because of the silence for other people. When you start that neutral dance, both of you are neutral, and we don't know if we're going left, right, up, or down. It's just happening and things are building. So yes, this can also be an anxiety moment. So, well, the other one is easier. If the person just brings everything, let's go. I don't have to think about it. But I find that there is a limit to how much you can improve, or how deep you can get into the magical world of social dancing when you're just based on that. So in the neutral way, I find that yes, it's hard at the beginning, but the ride and the places that we can go to are magical. Are magical because I can bring something, they can bring something, and both of us can get to a place that we've never been to ever with anybody else. So I find that even though this is harder, I do find that it's better. But I understand when the other one that is already predetermined can feel better for a lot of people, because it's actually easier. What do you have to say, Gui? I feel like there's something there.
No, I'm just very curious. How would you describe this neutral? What is happening with the body when it's neutral is when it's not neutral? Like, do you have examples or an experience that you can share?
Yes. So for example, a body that is less neutral, and I'm going to talk about myself, right? I am dancing, I am rested, I have energy, the DJ is going nuts. So you know what's going to happen with Allison. Allison is just going to be like fire and fireworks and, we're going to go to the moon. That is my body already coming into the dance and almost expressing to the leader or to the follower, like, hey, are you ready for this? That kind of thing. But it could be very much on the mellow and the chill vibes. Okay, let's say another side of me, the DJ is very chill and I'm very tired and the person wants to dance with me. They want fire, but I already come very strongly bringing chill, right? So that is kind of like predetermined. When I think about the neutral, I think about more connecting to my own body and not really putting any color or any vibe or any energy or element into my body. And that to me is how I start most of my dances, how I like to start most of my dances, or how I like to receive most of the start of the dances. Whatever the DJ is playing, whatever is happening, whoever is in front of me, I'm going into my body first and I'm going to start the dance there. I'm not going to start the dance already looking ahead or feeling the things that I want to feel in the dance before the dance starts. Like there are moments where, somebody will come to me and say, hey, Allison, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like fire? I want to have one of those crazy dances with you. And I'm like, look, in this moment right now, I don't know, but let's go and see if the fire happens. Mm-hmm. But then there are other moments that they will come to me and go like, hey, Allison, I see you're going crazy. Can I have one of those crazy dances? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Come on. Because I'm already there, So those are the two things that happens. Like sometimes when we're dancing with Hermela or with Elena, they come with these requests because they love when I go crazy with them. And they always check in with me. Like, what's your vibe right now? Are you kind of more like, let's see how you go? Or are you like, let's go?
Yeah.
So I think those are the two, like the more neutral one, open for anything, or more the one that is like, look, this is where I want to go, or this is where I feel like going right now. And you either jump in or I don't know how this is going to happen.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I find that, like, for example, when I dance with a follower and I'm kind of like in that neutral place and they bring something, I'm like, you know what? Let's go. So it is easier because I didn't have to take that moment to build something together. They already told me, hey, we're going here. So it's easier. And I understand a lot of the times when I ask followers like, oh, what kind of dance do you want to have? What kind of movements do you want to feel or anything like that? Most of them said, oh, anything's fine. And that's good. But at the same time, when I do that as a leader, it's a completely different vibe. A follower coming into the dance neutral, it's for them maybe easier. A leader coming to a dance neutral, I perceive as harder. Because now if both of us are neutral, now we have to figure out what's happening. But a leader coming to a dance, like stronger in what they're going to experience, for the follower, it's easier. But for a leader dancing with a follower who already comes with the flavor, with the texture, then for the leader, it's easier. It's so complex because it really depends on the side. The leader or the follower, it might be easier for one or for the other. But I find that if both come with the flavor, it's difficult. If both come neutral, it's difficult but beneficial. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
It's so complex.
I can see it being more complicated for the leader when they come neutral and the follower is neutral too, because then the leader needs to be able to reach the subtle cues, the involuntary motions of the body, and take information from there. Because when I think neutral, I think you come more as an spectator. You come more in the waiting part. You are checking in more often. And when you come more in, let's say, with the color, your body is already vibrating with a certain energy, with a certain vibe, and that is conveyed to your partner. And then I can see when the follower comes, it also being easier for the leader that is more neutral, because then they have more information.
Yeah, it's kind of like there is a reference that you go to. So it's kind of going to a class and all the teachers say, hey, we're going to draw mountains. We're already like, okay, mountains, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if the teacher says, hey, today we're going to draw anything that you're feeling right now. Well,
Yeah.
as a leader, I'm like, oh, damn, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Tell
like,
me.
okay, mountain, here we go.
Yeah, so if the follower brings something, I'm already like, okay, this is where we're going. If I'm not feeling it, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But at least there's a reference. And for the follower, the same thing. When the leader already brings something, for them, it's like, well, okay, I see where you want to go. Let's see if I want to go there, but I'm open to try. But yeah, when both are neutral, then both are like, okay, where are we going?
Yeah, I have had dances like this in which I was waiting and the other person was also waiting and nothing happened and we went nowhere. You know, you said that for a follower it's easier when the leader comes with the colors, or for the followers is
Generally speaking, this is what I hear. Okay, this is what I hear from followers when I ask them. They say, oh, it's easier when the leader
yes.
just takes me, just tells me exactly, because I'm here as a follower. This is what I chose. I don't want to project and I don't want to like plan what's going to happen. They're here to experience, and that's their choice and how they want to experience the dance. Not every follower is like that, but this is what I hear majority of the times.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. It makes a lot of sense. And for me, talking about the matter of sensitivity again, of the leader to perceive when perhaps when the follower get out of the neutral and brings something, a music that they like, you know, the trust has built. So the sensitivity to perhaps now, okay, let's shift. I am neutral again. I'm neutral now. Go, you know, so the leader comes with the colors and then shifts to neutral. And I think this dance inside the dance is really nice as well, because allows for the exchange. Guys, how do we say in English when you are really into the idea of the feedback loop of the exchange between the partners that are dancing? That makes a big, big difference. And I have experienced many times in which I bring the vibe to somebody that is more neutral, and then this person eventually vibes up and then bring the vibe, and then I become more neutral. So then I can, you know, understand and play and exchange with that. And then I bring the thing again and the person comes more neutral. And then we are both be able to speak. We are both bringing the vibe. And I think we start to bring in a vibe from a place of synchronicity. We are synchronized in a similar frequency, that the vibes that we are both bringing don't clash. They just build on top of each other. And in the end, for me, this might be the pinnacle of the social dance experience, when you are embodied, you are enjoying your movement, you're enjoying your vibe, and the other person is also embodied, enjoying their movement, enjoying their vibe, and you are riffing off of each other. That's the expression, I think. You know, like you're building with each other's cues and getting to the point that you don't know anymore who is doing what, who is bringing what, and the lines of lead and follow blur. And then we get into the magical state of flow. So I think that doesn't happen all the time in these magnitudes. And when it does happen, it's truly magic. Those dances that we remember tends to be those dances that the day after we send a message to the person we danced with and say, oh my gosh, this was so amazing.
And this happens a lot in social. For example, you're dancing with somebody. Okay, I had this experience very recently where I was dancing with somebody who usually gets nervous dancing with me. And we were vibing. We were both neutral and finding our way. Everything was going well. And then lo and behold, and Guy's going to talk about an experience that he had many years ago with another teacher. But lo and behold, the camera shines and the light shines. And then suddenly my follower starts dancing the dance that they think I want to have from them because there's a camera there. So normally this follower dances with me thinking, okay, Alison wants me to do this. But in that dance, we got to this place where that thing wasn't happening. But then as soon as the camera and the lights came on, they switched back. And they're like, oh, now I need to dance like this because it's Alison. And I'm like, no, we were there, exactly there. And look, guys, I'm talking about the experience that I had with this follower, but I have put myself in that position as a leader dancing with somebody who I want to experience their vibes as a student or a teacher. And I was in the moment, I was in the vibe, and then something happened. Maybe somebody started watching, somebody started recording, or I just went into my head and I'm like, oh, damn, I'm dancing with this person. I need to dance like this. And then I go and I switch my dance. So a lot of this that we're talking about here, I think comes from the anxiety that we have within ourselves of thinking that the other person wants a certain thing, but we don't know if they do. We have no idea. So first things first, I think that's the first thing that we have to recognize and understand, that this is coming from our own ideas in our own head and insecurities and anxieties. And then we can work on the, let it be, let's play.
Yeah. In the end, the question is, who are you dancing for? And not a problem if you say I'm dancing for my partner at all. For me, it's just a matter of asking the question, who are you dancing for in this moment? And if it is for the other person, if it's for dancing for my partner, how much that might be taking away of your own experience. How many privates I taught, and most for followers, in which I asked the person, what if we try less hard? It seems like you are trying very hard to do things properly. What if you do it the way that you like to do it, the way that your body feels good doing, and you see the magic happening? The person is still doing, let's say, lateral. It's the same movement, but they're doing the way they like to do. The dance instantaneously become more pleasant for me because there is less tension. There is a lot of information that comes from the touch. When the touch comes with the tension that is built from the anxiety of whether or not I'm doing this right, the person feels it. They might not know that this is the source, but they feel it. The moment that you touch someone, an overload of information is sent through your skin to their skin. So tension conveys tension. And that tension, you don't know what it is, but you feel something. The moment that the person releases the tension, and the tension here that I'm saying is not only the muscle engagement, is the tension in the whole body, that the whole body is more stiff or more shaky. And you feel that. And the moment that the person lets go of that idea of doing perfect and do more the way that they like, the way that they feel comfortable, you feel that too. So by going through your body, when you connect with your partner feels that you are more comfortable, and that comfort is transmitted through the touch. And that's magical, And it's not witchcraft, it's pure biology, On the other hand, if you are dancing for yourself, noticing if this dancing for yourself might be taking away from the connection with your partner. So we have the two sides. When you dance too much for your partner, that takes away the connection from yourself. And when you dance too much for yourself, it takes away the connection from your partner. So it's finding somewhere in between that you are dancing for yourself, with your partner, and for your partner, And we are not saying that this is easy in any way. There is a journey.
Hell no.
Yeah. There is a journey of acquiring awareness. I am a firm believer that the more you know the language of Brazilian Zouk or any partner dance, the more you build the confidence, at least in the mechanical part of the movement, in the mechanical aspect of the movement. So you know what a viradinha is look like, you know how to do a bonus, you know how to do a cambreia, chicote. The thing then it becomes how you do this thing, in the sense that how you connect with your partner to convey those movements, and then the person who is being led, are you doing these movements to do it correctly because I want to be correct and good for my leader? Or are you doing that chicote because you like the feeling of chicote in your body and you like how it feels, and then you execute it in a way that it feels good for you, Guys, I think, Alison, you can say that too. when we watch a follow doing a movement and you clearly see that they enjoy their execution, you immediately feel this is like, yeah, I made it. But it also comes that enjoyment as well by watching them enjoy, And I think this comes with confidence, this comes with time, and this comes with, in Portuguese, we have this word vivência, which I don't know how to translate in English, but it's the living of the thing. So the living...
Life experience, maybe?
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah. Vivência is kind of like life experience or life wisdom.
Yeah, it's like the more you live with the thing, the more you have the thing in your life, the more you learn about it and the more you acquire this wisdom about it. Yeah, and that sometimes there is this anxiety that we feel in the beginning to achieve that place right away, without giving the chance for you to slowly absorb and to slowly feel, to have this knowledge build in your body over time. And that silent process of progress that we are not perceiving right away, but that we are. Like this week, somebody told me that something finally clicked. There was another conversation that we had that we said, man, your body was learning about this thing. It's not that it was not noticeable. It feels like it became noticeable over time. Like it feels like it became noticeable overnight, but it's not overnight. You have been doing this for years. But your body was still, it didn't perhaps come to your rational understanding of the difference up to this point, but something was happening. Of course, something was happening this whole time. So my main request for people is let the silent process of progress, of growth take place. We can try to rush the process. And to be honest, some people are like really speeding up the process of learning. But I think nothing beats experience. Nothing beats vivência.
Yeah, you cannot cheat time. If you want to progress faster, you got to spend more time. You can speed up the process if you spend more time. So if you do 3-4 hours every day, sure, you can speed up the process over 6 months, but you won't be able to speed up the process if you're doing the same thing over 6 months, just because you want to, just because you have this idea of like, I'm going to get there in 6 months, but I'm going to be doing the same thing that I've always done. It won't work because the body needs time. The brain needs time. Things just need time. It's not about just like, if I learn the technique right, it's going to work. There's so many layers. I think the technique is just the tool, like really just the tool. But like dancing it takes time. Learning to spin, sure, you can learn to spin in an hour. But dancing that spin, being able to enter and exit and feel comfortable, feel confident, and feel like it's always going to work no matter what, that takes time. That takes a lot of time. But maybe spin is not a good example because we can just talk about weight transfers. Simple as that. Weight transfers. It takes time, probably more than spinning because it's so subtle.
And when we talk about partner dancing specifically, even if you do 4 hours a day of practice to speed up your process, how you're doing this 4 hours a day? If you're doing this 4 hours a day with the same partner, with the same person, if you have one training partner, even if you have 2 training partners that you take turns during the week, I think that the amount of experience that you get when you dance with a lot of people is different. So if you are training 3 hours a day with one partner or 2, it's not the same if you have like years of going to several socials and several classes and dance with several different people, feeling different bodies, feeling different weight transfers, elasticities, all the things. So for this particular art form, I think it's really important that you dance the dance with a lot of different people. Doesn't need to be from a lot of different places. For 27 years of my life, I was just in Rio because the scene in Rio is so large. And I'm not talking about Brazilian Zouk specific. I'm talking about Brazilian partner dancing in Rio. It's so large and so powerful that I was dancing with a lot of different people every week. So the experience of dance with different bodies inform yours when it comes to this thing that we'll be talking about in this episode, this neutral body, bring your colors, bring your vibe, how to bring, when to bring, the exchange, all the things. You get so much information in the jungle that my invitation for everybody that starts to learn Brazilian Zouk, and they ask me, how can I get better? I say, take as many opportunities of social dancing that you can. Take them all. If you have a practica, try to go to the practica. Try to go to the social. Try to go to the things. Dance with people, with different people. The more you dance with different people, with this mindset of becoming more, creating more colors, bringing more colors to your dance, the more you dance with more people, the more inspired you get, and the more references you have, and the more you learn just by being there, just by dancing the dance.
I think a baseline that every teacher can agree is that a great social dancer is the one that can dance with the most amount of people and execute similar things, instead of the dancer who can dance with a couple of people and do the most amount of things.
That's a good one.
No, like a great social dancer, to most teachers, I think it's the person that is very adaptable, very versatile, and can dance with anybody and pretty much execute almost everything without an issue, instead of executing lots of things with a few people.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I think this is a great way for us to close this chapter of this episode. And thank you once again for being here and supporting us in this beautiful project. We love receiving your requests, your comments, your posts, your reshares. And we just want to, as always, thank you. And please don't forget to follow, subscribe, share, and continue supporting us so we can continue reaching out to more people and hopefully, slowly helping the community to be more knowledgeable. I'm not going to say better, because that's too much responsibility, but at least to have more knowledge through the experiences that we share here between ourselves and our guests. So thank you, everybody. And thank you, Gui, as always, for being here day and night, 24/7.
Thank you, Alison. Yes, it was always a pleasure. And I can't wait for the next one already. And people, don't forget, follow, subscribe, Instagram, Spotify, all the platforms. Come with us. And thank you for everybody that shared with us their Spotify. How is the recap of the year thing that Spotify does?
Yeah.
We got so many beautiful messages of people that had ZoukNerds as one of their top 5 podcasts. Such an honor. And thank you so much.
Yes. So we'll see you on the next one, everybody. Thank you. Beijos. Abraços. And ciao.
Bye, everyone.